Giants of the unknown. Chill and mysterious were the gods of ancient Egypt. Mighty figures of wrath towering through the mists of time. What dread legend gave rise to shapes so fearful? Why do they still haunt the dreams of men? Were they creatures of man's imagination, or did they once, in some long-forgotten age, actually walk the earth? Let's roll back the veils of the unknown and see the strange answer. The office of Dr. Tom Andrews, Professor of Egyptology. Why the excitement, Betty? I assigned you the job of translating an old Egyptian manuscript, and you can't even wait until class time to tell me what's in it.
Because I've hit on something. That manuscript was a palmless set. There was another even more ancient beneath it. Get this. It discloses the location of an unknown tomb, and it says it holds the body of a great god who's father of all Egyptian deities.
Forget it. Probably just a fairy tale. Just folklore.
Nope, it's not a hoax. It describes other tombs which have since become famous, so why should this one be false?
Maybe there is something to it. But an archaeological expedition is expensive business.
Hey, I've got it. Edward Clinton. He's rich, with an eye for publicity. He's already backed several expeditions.
This should be big enough to interest him. And so Clinton receives a proposition. So what? I've already backed several of these junkets, and who among the public even knows my name? But this is big-time stuff. The great god, who's the father of all Egyptian gods, why, alongside him, Tutankhamun was Bush League material. And if the Clinton expedition dug him up, your name would become a byword. Put it that way, how could Clinton say no? Within weeks, the great expedition is ready.
Be careful there, that stuff's worth money.
I never dreamed he'd insist on coming along. Hope we have no trouble with him. And puts to sea, bound for great unknown and fabulous unsensed adventures which loom ahead. Egypt, and out across the trackless desert.
I can't believe we're here. Oh, pray that the manuscript was true, Tom. Pray.
Mile after lonely mile. Then finally the goal is reached, a barren spot swept by lonely winds that moan of untold dangers, of ancient death.
Is this the place? Hope we'll find what we came for, but it's kind of scary, isn't it? The wind, those strange dunes. Tom, I'm frightened. Ah! Heed the warning of the gods. This place is cursed. It is the haunt of evil spirits. To intrude is death.
Take that, you hysterical fool! And the rest of you, stop! I'll shoot the first man who attempts to desert.
No, shoot. We stay.
Next day, under Clinton's guns, digging commences, and out of the shroud of burying sand of countless years.
Hey, yow! We found it! We found it!
And soon, look at it! There's never been anything like this. Come on, let's break in.
Wait, there's an inscription on the tomb. Let's see what it says first. Jeepers! It's an ancient curse on anyone who dares violate this tomb. It warns of death and sudden disaster from out of the unknown.
Do you suppose there's anything in it? Nuts, these curses are standard equipment on the tombs. Let's go ahead. I'm the leader of this expedition. I'll give the orders. You, over there, start breaking into that tomb or I'll finish you right now. As the first stone block is removed, revealing the dark interior. Oh!
Flee! The gods strike! Look, those wisps coming out of the tomb. That's what killed him.
We've given it clear enough time for that gas to clear. I guess the ancient race that built this tomb knew more about chemistry than we figured.
Can the talk. I can't wait to get inside.
Inside the great tomb, the strange glories of a long-dead civilization. And hovering above all, a sense of brooding, unknown evil. Golly, there's a king's ransom for you here, Clinton. I've already got wealth. What I'm after is power, fame, and I feel I'm going to get them from our discoveries here. Look at the size of that sarcophagus. Once we see what's in that, I'll have what I'm after.
What? Is this what you promised me, the great god who's the father of all Egyptian deities? It's just an ordinary old mummy. I can't understand it. That old manuscript was right in every other particular. Could it have led us down this way?
Listen, I've got a crazy hunch. It's an awfully big sarcophagus for such a small mummy, and I'm wondering, help me get it out of here. Carefully, Tom inspects the interior. He touches a projection, and there's a ponderous rumbling as ancient counterweights creak into motion. A false bottom slides away, revealing, "Good Lord, will you look at the size of that thing? There's never been anything like this in history. I've got to see what's under these bandages." "No, Clinton, don't. Expose that face and it will crumble into dust." But beneath the ancient wrappings, "Great Scott, look! You'd think he was sleeping." The face is perfect. Some great embalming secret, I suppose. Lost with the centuries. Holy smoke! His eyes! That thing's alive! Out of the unknown, entombed for thousands of years, yet this creature lives. "Run! Aye!" "Wait! Do not flee. It is my command." There's something hypnotic about that tomb-like voice. I can't move. "You fear me, mortals? You, who have released me from the prison where I have lain in suspended animation for tens of thousands of years?" Who are you? How did you come to be here? Are you human?" "Human. I cannot answer that. All I can say is that I am El Rano, that I come from another race, now dead and long vanished, which lived here 50,000 years ago. But I have a message to bring to you who have come after us, a message across the eons. Come with me. Let me show you." A slab in the floor slides aside, revealing ancient stone steps which seem to wind into the very bowels of the earth. In a chamber below. What a place! And those strange weapons, they look like the nightmare of a mad scientist. In a way, that's what they were. The end products of a great prehistoric civilization which ran riot and destroyed itself long before the birth of history. Let me tell you about that civilization. In the beginning, we were as you were, simple cavemen, faced with all the perils of savage nature. Ah! The countless years witnessed evolution as time went on. Certain of these cavemen adapted themselves to their environment, becoming larger, stronger, and finally a race of giants emerged. Growing intellect kept pace with giant bodies, and finally a great civilization was built. But my race split into warring factions, created strange new battle devices. Many thousands will die from this day's work. It is good. I pleaded to devote our science to peace, not war, and as punishment, was walled up in this tomb, and since no trace of my race is left on Earth, what I feared must have happened. Our strange weapons ran riot, destroying every vestige of our civilization. If all of this is true, how come this tomb survived, and you along with it? So you are reluctant to believe. Come, let me prove the truth of my words. This too was a product of our dead civilization. It mirrors the past, shows what happens on Earth many thousands of years ago. Watch. Our cause is a glorious one. We must attack our enemies, destroy them. Yeah. Good gosh! How do we know this isn't some scientific trick? Don't think we believe everything just because of a picture in some fortune teller's crystal. The crystal can project us back bodily through time, give you further proof. And since the lesson I have to teach you is important enough, we'll go back to the period when giants strode the earth. You'll see now and learn for yourselves. Back, through the swirling mists of time. Their final destination, the unknown, a strange mystic land which no longer exists, a land beyond time, life, and humanity. This is my land, my time. And it is to this point that we must come when you wish to return to your century. Golly, I never dreamed that anything like this could exist. How strange everything is, and frightening. Suddenly, Help! Good gosh, these guns are toys alongside of that. Back, you devil! Back! There! He's finished. He's got the power of 100 men. Then, out of the weird forest and into the new wonderland. This time, El Rano City, a new adventure into the great unknown. The city of giants, it makes me feel like an atom. Why is it so empty? Where is everybody? They are gathered at the public square where our leader, El Klani, is egging them to war. He is my enemy, the man you saw in the crystal ball. We'll go there, but we must watch from hiding. That's him. Listen. Our cause is a glorious one. We must attack our enemies, destroy them. Yeah! Hail Alklani, our leader! War on the enemy. From 1,000 fierce throats, the clamor goes up, and Alklani acts. Touching a series of controls, he unleashes the horror of strange weapons of nightmare destruction. The battle is on, and these new weapons will wipe out our enemies like ants. At that moment, look, it is Elrano, the traitor who preaches peace. Seize him! Quick, make for that platform. It's a space flyer. Maybe we can escape yet. We made it. Fools! After him! He mustn't get away! A gripping pursuit through the air with lightning speed. We'll get him, and when we do... We've got to abandon the space flyer and get into the forest. Find the very spot where the time crystal deposited us here. It's your only point of contact, and the only way you can get back to your century. But mortal speed is no match for the giant strides of Alklani. Ha! I might know the peace-preaching coward would make friends of dwarves. He's got us! Help! I can't desert them now, even if it means my capture. Quick, into the forest, and try to make your way back into your time. I'll try to hold them off. Come on. We're almost there. We've got you now, Elrano. And as punishment for having opposed me, you'll be buried alive, walled up in a tomb in a state of suspended animation for eternity. Then, back through time, towards the 20th century. It's good to be back. Holy smoke, I must have jarred the controls accidentally. Look back into the crystal. Great heavens, you've moved the controls about a year later, and the giant's enemies are having their inning. So that explains why the giants have vanished. Warfare like that would end up by not only destroying every last member of the race, but wiping out all traces of their civilization as well. Let that be an object lesson for us. We're lucky we don't have weapons like those which could so easily fall into the wrong hands. Look, it's the mummy of Elrano, lying there again as if all of this had never taken place. Sure, where we've been and what we've seen all took place thousands of years ago. Apparently the sentence was carried out and he now lies there as he had been placed. But where's Clinton? I stayed down there to gather these. I've always wanted power, fame, and now they're mine. With these weapons I can rule the world. And if anybody, even armies, try to stop me, I'll wipe them out like flies. You're crazy. If you do that, you're condemning the human race to the same senseless destruction which wiped out the giants. Trying to stand in my way, are you? You fool. Then you'll be my first victim. I'll stop you if it's the last. Oh, that ought to do it. Down into the pit hurtles Clinton, squarely into the crystal ball. There's a sudden, terrible burst of flame as the huge sphere shatters. Then a strange tremor shakes the mighty tomb, and an unearthly roaring. Betty, the tomb, it's dissolving. And Elrano's mummy, look at it. It's disappeared, Tom. There's only emptiness left. But I don't understand. We were just there a moment ago. We saw everything. How's it possible? Oh, Tom, don't you see? Elrano and his tomb, they were ghostly manifestations. Only his burning desire to save the entire world from what had happened to his race thousands of years before had kept him and his tomb alive across the centuries. And the illusion was finally shattered by the contact of a human scoundrel with the mystic crystal ball. Well, we've had our adventure into the unknown, Betty. And perhaps now we know why the gods of ancient Egypt still haunt the imagination of mankind.